no problem. Don't worry about it.
Now I'm worried about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll be fine.
But I'm worried about it now.
Okay. Okay.
And now I can hear. All I can hear is it, you know? It's all I can hear now.
Do you want to do the new games from bottom to top? Or do you want to do new games from top to bottom?
Oh, what do you think? Bottom to top, right?
Sure.
What's happening, party people? Welcome to Punchboard Party. My name is Daniel. This is Father Greg. And we're going to tell you our top 100 board games of all time by mainly just talking about what's changed.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a little bit more of an open-ended kind of conversation. We're not going to go through, like, let's say, like, every single one of the games in our top 100.
That's
that
right.
would take way, way too long, and we've done this too many times. But it's good to kind of, like...
Twice.
That's right, it's still too many times. But I feel like there's some we did our top 100. We went over it.
Yes.
But there's some things that are good to talk about.
There are things that are good to talk about.
Right.
Like board games are good to talk about.
That's right. And sometimes there's games that, like, you know, just don't get mentioned on this channel. You know, maybe we mention it like the plays of the month, but it just kind of...
Right.
You know, and all of a sudden it shows up on the top 100. You're like, you know what? We didn't talk about this enough.
Let's give this some love.
That's right. We got to give this game a little love.
So we're going to talk about our top 100 in a bit of a structure. So first we're going to talk about all the new games in our top 100 list. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to talk about the big falls, games that just plummeted, fell from grace.
Games that we once thought were good, but we were so wrong. They're
so
trash. They're just bad.
Terrible.
We're going to tell you why we were wrong. This is going to be a humiliating moment. We are going to humiliate ourselves before you.
True confession.
That's right.
True contrition for ourselves.
That's right.
And then we're going to talk about the games that made some meteoric rises up our list. Because it's a fun way to talk about our top 100. Yeah. And just to show you how much these lists don't matter.
That's right. That's right. I think
things change so much.
That's right. If I was talking about every change that was on this list, I would be here. We'd literally just be doing a whole top 100 list again.
That's right.
But I think within 20, I would say is a very minor change.
Right.
Like if your game was at 30 and it's now at 50, that's a little bit of a fall, but it's not really that significant in the grand scheme of things. Games like that can move around. But if a game moved 50 spots. I'm like, well, maybe there's something to that.
That's right. Let us have Father Greg.
All right.
What games are new?
What games are new? So I had 27 new games.
Okay.
Which means that if my math is correct, 27 games left the list.
Yes.
I don't know all the 27 that left the list, but I can tell you what the new ones are. These are new games. So these are games that were not on my last year's top 100. They may have been on if you go back to the first top 100 video, maybe there's some, especially at the bottom, maybe it was at 100 and then it dropped down to 103 and then it bumped up to 97, something like that. So, but by and large, these are all games that were not on my top 100 last year that are new games. Some of them are new things that I played. Some of them are old, but maybe maybe we just kind of experienced a little resurgence. So,
sure.
Coming in at 99, new on the list, Trekking the World.
Okay.
Trekking the World. So I always liked Trekking the National Parks. This is kind of like the sequel to it. They made a trequel, whatever, the third one, Trekking Through Time, something like that. Yes. It's fine. Didn't make my list, but Trekking the World, I quite like.
Yeah. I tested that in prototype form.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk. Next game is a game that I've played a number of times, and maybe this is the first time it's ever been on the top 100, and that's Fields of Green.
Oh,
so not Fields of Arle. That's a whole other story.
And Among the Stars reimplementation.
Oh, what?
Right?
Okay, cool.
Square cards. And,
yeah. Okay. I'm trying to envision this in space, but yes. It's a very attractive farming game. I mean, there's lots of farming games out there, but I went over to Father Dan's once last year, and we played this game, and I was like, yeah. It's fun. You got to put a water tower kind of close to the fields you want to water.
That's right.
And you want to make sure your chickens are next to your oats because I don't know why, but they like to be close to oats.
Well, they need food.
That's right. But you don't want to haul your oats all the way across your farm.
Right.
Let's not be crazy here.
Let's not be crazy.
But yeah, Fields of Green, like it. The next game coming in at number 96, Undaunted Normandy.
Wow.
So I think maybe Undaunted, maybe it's showing up on the list. I'm not sure, the previous one, but yeah, Undaunted Normandy. Really, really like the Undaunted series.
Okay.
Talked about it maybe
that's a strange absence from your list if that wasn't...
Yeah.
I guess probably playing Britain and playing
right.
maybe that...
Yeah, I just really like it. I think it's a fun kind of thematic World War II kind of battler. Yeah,
sure.
Anyways, nice intro to war games. 95, King's Dilemma. So this was a game that I played a lot, talked about it a lot on this channel. But yes, came in 95. We had a good time playing it. Probably could have done better with more players. I think the Queen's Dilemma maybe will come out this year. I have no idea.
Sure.
You know, Kickstarter madness being what it is. Who knows when it'll come out? But you know, maybe I'll play that with a group of like 5 or 7 people or something.
Okay, try
see if that shoots it up even further. 94, coming in 94. This is a game of Skull.
Whoa!
So yeah,
Skull hadn't been on your list before.
At least not last year.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, I really love Skull. Had great time teaching it to some altar servers this year.
Nice.
They had a blast with it. Even when they had the new one, I had when we met again for board games, I pulled out new games. And they're like, "You don't have Skull? Oh man!"
Yeah. They're bummed out
that Skull didn't show up on the list. 91. I know this game has been on a previous top 100. I'm almost positive. That's Point Salad.
Yeah. Okay.
So Point Salad, I've liked. Probably fell off last year, but it's back. It's back where it deserves to be.
Sure, on the top 100.
Here's a game that you have.
Hey!
Number 90. Coming in number 90. This is Korra, Rise of an Empire.
Nice!
So, yeah. This is a new play, but I liked it. It's a solid game.
It's a sweet little game, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it because it gives you a little bit of focus.
Yes.
It kind of like
a lot of focus.
Yeah,
really.
like your civilization has certain strengths, and you're very much encouraged to play to those strengths. You don't have to,
but you'll lose.
I think you're going to lose if you don't. Yeah.
It's basically just here's your faction, here's what you do to win. Like do this, and you'll do well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just trying to do your thing better than other people are doing their thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, love Korra. Coming in at number 88, Hanamakoji.
Yeah,
so I love Hanamakoji. Recently
it's been around
playing
forever.
This, yeah, with Marion Dallas. Just a great 2-player game. Not much that needs to be said about that. 86, The Palaces of Carrera. Okay. So I've loved Palaces of Carrera ever since I played it. I recently, I think probably even before this last year. But anyways, got the new version of Palaces of Carrera.
Yeah.
Enjoyed playing that. So that's probably why it kind of popped up higher than it was before. I just couldn't remember Palaces of Carrera, but now I remember why I liked it. And so, yeah, it's on the list. 85. This is a game I've talked about many, many times in our Plays of the Month. This is The Adventures of Robin Hood.
Yeah, sure.
Half board game, half advent calendar.
Yeah.
Great. Just a fun story-driven game.
Sure.
With a little bit of miniature-esque movement rules.
Yeah.
You can move this far.
That's right. But don't you dare move that far.
That's right. That's right. There's some times where you just kind of. You're this close away from a treasure chest. Come on, why would you? You're there, right? Come on. Yeah,
but you're not.
But you could run. If you're a guy, if you see a treasure chest, you dive. You can't get there by the end of the day. You're just gonna dive.
Yeah, sure.
You'll be fine. 84, Automania. I'm sure this has been on the previous top 100. Maybe it was probably low though. But yeah, 84. So it's kind of it's around that same area. Like it, good, solid, easy to learn intro Euro kind of thing. 83. Coming in at 83. This is a new game that I think I probably only learned this year. And that's Cursed Court.
Okay. Yeah.
Just great game with poker chips and a little bit of bluffing maybe. Kind of, also just probability, what are the chances that somebody here has a king,
Yes.
Well, sure, why not? Let's put 5 poker chips on that. And everyone's
right.
well, you must have the king. And you're no, I don't have the king. And then everyone follows suit, and they're well, he's got the king for sure. You put 5 poker chips on it. Nobody has the king. You all lose, but hey.
You had a good time doing it.
You brought him down with you.
That's right.
Which is all that matters. 81. This is, probably rapidly coming up to probably one of my favorite roll or rights or flippin' rights or whatever you want to call it.
Flippin' right.
Trails of Tucana.
Whoa, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so love Trails of Tucana. I don't know why it wasn't on my top 100 last year, because I'm sure we've played this before, but Marion Dallas had it a bunch. They, I think, stole it from you.
Yes, they did.
And, but anyways, we played this a lot, had a lot of fun. with Trails of Tucana. 80, coming in at 80, a solo game.
Yep.
Solo game. The Legacy of You.
That's
baby.
Not me.
Of you.
You.
It's your legacy.
No, it's you's legacy.
Some Chinese guy. That's right. That's right. Trying to build, I don't know. You're trying to build a, I don't know what you're trying to build.
Yeah,
but
sure.
you're in China. There's water. There's water that's like flooding out bridges, and so you have to like slow down the flood of water while also working to like actually fend off barbarians and like defend yourself and keep the empire strong. Great little solo game that has like not a legacy component, but yes, things that you add to your deck and that change kind of over the course of the game. 72, coming in at 72. Foundations of Rome. That's
that was on your list last year, though.
It was not on my list last year.
It was. The last time we recorded a list, it was on there.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind. That's not a new game to my list. Never mind. All right. Fair enough. Well, it rose a little bit. Correction, I was wrong. It was 93. Yep. So 93, and it came up to 72. So that's a
nice.
little rise. Coming in at 70. This one might surprise you a little bit because I think the first time I played this, I didn't really have that great of an experience.
Okay.
But since then, it's grown on me a little bit. That is the game Earth.
Yeah. Okay.
So Earth, yeah. It's great.
It is great.
It
is great.
So just
you can't really go wrong with Earth.
Is it better than Terraforming Mars?
Well, yes,
Probably.
For time, for time spent, for feel of play, for getting to those combos faster. Mm-hmm. Again, if you want a meatier experience, then Terraforming Mars is great. Like if you're willing to sacrifice meat on the bone, then Earth is better.
This next game coming in at 67. This is a game that I've wanted to play for a really long time. It's by one of my favorite designers. Well, the designer of one of my favorite games. That's maybe not one of my favorite designers, but designer of one of my favorite games. I knew I would like this game before I played it, and I did, and so it has shown up on my top 100, and that is Navigador.
Yeah, okay.
By Mac Gertz.
There you go.
The designer of Concordia. That's like the only game I've played with his is Concordia.
Right,
but I was like, I have to play something else, and I have to play Navigador.
It's neat. It's so neat. It gets for me, Navigador has a little bit of. It was on my list. Now it's off, but barely. The sailing around, the building, trading posts. They are connected to the stock market because that's how you affect the stock market. But it's still just the way the game is kind of designed. It feels a little separate. It feels.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway. Feels a little disjointed.
Yeah. I really like the little rondelle thing in the middle where you move around.
That's great.
And the first time I came across this game was Clans of Caledonia. The designer said he took the market from Navigador.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, I like this market idea. I'm going to love Navigador.
Yes.
And did. Coming in at 63, 10 Penny Parks.
Oh, wow. Fascinating.
Yeah, I've only played this game, I think, once, but I like amusement parks. I've always have.
Yeah.
That's a great theme. It's got great art. It's like Vincent Dutrait. It's right up there. The only weird thing is there's like a Ferris wheel that you can kind of build in the middle of your table. You don't need to build it. It actually makes it harder to see the rest of the game board. But
like most of these kind of pieces.
That's right. Yes. It's like just leave it off. But 10 Penny Parks, great. This game I'm surprised was not on my list. It must have been last year, and that's Dice Throne. Dice Throne I've liked for a long time. Coming in at 63, so kind of made a boost. I don't know why. Maybe just
kind of some of these games just come to your mind in a different way from time to time. I think depending on your mood and your last play of it or whatever.
There's an element, and this is not the best reason to put it on this list, but I have spent more money on this game than perhaps anything else that I own, and that I have Dice Throne 1, Dice Throne Season 2, Dice Throne Adventures. I have not bought any of the Marvel stuff, but I have every single playmat. For all of those characters. There's a lot of money that I've invested in this game, and I think maybe for that reason alone, I'm like...
You were like, maybe I should put that back on my list.
That's right. It kind of has to be, right? If you spent $500 on a game...
Yes.
You probably have to put it that high up on the list, right?
Right.
More than 500. Good Lord. Number 56, Carnegie.
Okay.
We played Carnegie.
Yep.
Had a mostly good experience. It's a rough game to learn, I'll be honest. Carnegie is one of the most difficult games to explain.
When I played it first with you, that was fine. but like, you know,
it's tough. Like it's
a tough game.
It's super hard to explain, like, because it has complicated, like, kind of end of game scoring and how kind of some of the stuff works.
The most fiddly thing about it is just your action selection.
Yes.
Like moving your meeples through the office building bit.
Right.
It's just a little annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't enough to keep it off of my top 100 either. Whoa. So we'll see.
The next game, if I said that Trails of Tucana was maybe my favorite roll and write, well, the 52 is Next Station London.
Okay, yeah.
I've talked about this game. I love drawing. If there's one thing I love more than, I don't know, I like drawing routes, and Trails of Tucana has that. You're literally drawing paths between one thing and another. And Next Station London, just trying to draw subway lines. What could be better than that? 49. This game showed up on one of our guest top 10s list, and I was like, never played that game. And Dan was like, I know the designer of that game. And so we played it without Dad at Dad's house. And that game was Akrotiri.
Yeah, Akrotiri.
I love Akrotiri. It's a slick little.
It's very good. It's very good.
Love it.
Yeah. It plays a little long for what it is, but if you're into it, it's fine.
Sure. 43, I've talked about this game many a time on our Plays of the Month, Fantasy Realms.
Yeah, okay.
Easy.
But it hadn't made the list before then.
No, but I just played it so much this year that
yes.
I was like, it has to be high up on this list. This next one surprises me. This was not on my list last year. I don't know what on God's green earth I was smoking, but number 40 is Suburbia. And like I mean I love Suburbia. Like I love me some Suburbia. So I think it must have been on the previous list.
Right.
Like say must have fallen off.
But you got the like deluxe edition and stuff, right? So that
once again, spend a lot of money on something and you'll justify.
But maybe like did you have the original Suburbia?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yes, that is strange.
Coming in at number 39, this one might surprise you, and I'm pretty sure this was not on my list last year. Yep, that's Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Well, I ruined it for you, and then you played it again, and you realized that
that's right.
It wasn't so bad.
I realized you know, and then I like
it's back on my guy. It's back on my shelf anyway. So
that's right. This guy.
It doesn't matter. My hatred for it doesn't matter.
This guy has told me so many times that this game is horrible.
It is horrible.
And then he goes to a garage sale and buys it.
Okay, so if you found a game at a garage sale that was ranked very highly on Board Game Geek, even though you hated it, and you could get it for a real cheap price because it was a garage sale, you're telling me you wouldn't just get it anyway?
If I knew I hated it, no.
Maybe you're wrong, right? Maybe you need to try it again.
Well, maybe. Then towards the top, there's not much movement, as I shared in my top 10. Like, not too many things were new. But coming at 27, this is Toletum.
Okay, sweet.
So yeah, Toletum is a great game. It's definitely my favorite of the T-Series now.
Yeah.
Because 27 is pretty high. So it came in at 27, deserves to be there.
Yeah.
Love me some Toletum. And then last but not least, you already know this from my top 10, but coming in at number 6 is the Guild of Merchant Explorers.
Wow. It's so hard for me to swallow that.
I know. But
it's beat out by the Guild of Merchant Explorers.
I love this game. I don't know. It's route building, man. I love tile placement. I love route building. This does both of those. It's not a roll and write, but it could be. And just love it.
Okay, folks, let's get into my new games.
Yes, I want to hear.
So I realized that, man, like, my feelings are wild and woolly, man. So I had 34 new games.
Okay.
Onto my list, and so coming in at 100 is Ginkgopolis.
Ooh, okay.
So Ginkgopolis, just like, I just had such fun playing this wrong, and then more fun playing it right. So just the chaos of it, I was like, this game is crazy. And then I was like, okay, it's not that crazy. It was a game that I was like, I know I'll love this if I get the chance to play it. And so it was like kind of a bit of confirmation bias. Like I kind of had to love it to believe that I was who I thought I was. But it made it on the list. Snuck on there. And then coming in at 97 was Enchanted Plumes. You might remember this.
You love this game.
This wild little card game about making a pyramid of cards, but every color that comes at the next layer has to exist on the layer beneath it.
Right,
so,
and you go up the pyramid,
and
right?
you go up, yeah. So you're like restricting what you can play as you go up. Fun, so fun. Then at 94 comes Korra, Rise of an Empire for me. At 94.
Wow, it's like almost identical, 90 to 94.
Yeah. So that comes out of that list. Just great.
Nice. Glad to know we agree on that one.
Yes.
It's rare that we agree, but it's nice to know that we do.
It is rare, but we do sometimes. We're gonna have to put that to the test a lot. Beer and Bread comes in 92.
Yes, this is good. This probably should be higher.
So it didn't come on your list.
Nope.
Yeah, weird. I just love this as a two-player experience. I just think this is fantastic. Mainly because I love 2010 style Midway Euros. And this just gives me that experience. Like, this is a half-hour two-player game. There's so many of those two-player games from the Cosmo series or whatever that just, play longer. Like Targi, Aquateri. They just play longer than they should. This is a two-player game that lasts a half hour, and that's it. And you're in and out. And you've had a great Euro experience.
It's pretty slick. The buying and selling of things. The fact that you can only store so many things in your house, and whatever you don't fit, you have to give to your opponent.
Yes,
that's kind of infuriating. But
sure.
Other than that,
you know what's a better two-player game than that?
Ooh, tell me.
Coming in at 90 is Splendor Duel.
Okay.
Splendor Duel.
Wow.
Man,
did we play this before we made our top 100?
Of course we did.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Splendor Duel just a little bit better than Splendor. And Splendor's weird because you can play it graded 2. It plays graded 2, but this just a little bit the back and forth with the scrolls or whatever they are, where you give your player the advantage and they get a scroll which lets them do some special stuff. And it's a fun tug of war.
It is.
Coming at 89 for me is Carnegie, and really it all comes down to the Ian O'Toole art. Sitting down and looking at this board, it's just beautiful.
That's funny because the first time we played this game, you did not.
So way back when, I've given Ian O'Toole a lot of crap. Been he's not that good, whatever. But there is something just nice about this board.
It is.
But here's the deal. With Carnegie, what really cinches it for me is the city scoring.
Right.
Getting yourself into the different regions. That's just sweet.
Right.
The way you do it, like I said, is a little fiddly.
That's right.
Moving your meep, trying to get enough meeples, spreading them out enough, not spreading them too thin. Because basically you do the action, the power of the meeples that are in that particular office space. Right. But you need to do a bunch of different stuff. And so you might be having to do things at less power than you want to be doing them so that you can do more different things. Coming in at 88, so this one's weird. This is Seasons. So, it's been on my list previously, then it was off it, and now just but I haven't played it since. It's just me remembering it fondly.
Wow.
So I do really like Seasons. I think my memories of big, chunky, colorful dice and card comboing games have become more my style lately. So in the past, I would have a hand of cards, and I wouldn't, in Seasons, I wouldn't be able to make heads or tails about how these synergize. Now I know how these things synergize. So when I think back to the game, I'm like, oh yeah, I love that.
That's fun.
It's a weird thing.
I should bring back Seasons. I think I bought the expansion for this game and have not played it with the expansion ever.
Sure.
And
let's do it.
Yeah, my only complaint about Seasons, I think it's one of those few games that are too short. That 3 rounds, I feel is I just want a fourth. Come on,
right. Sure.
But yeah.
Coming in at 86 for me this year, Aquasphere.
No, this is unforgivable. What the hell? What would Aquasphere show up at 86?
Last summer, I was in Halifax, and I just popped out Kijiji in Halifax, and it was there for sale for $25. So it got back into my collection, back onto my mind. Fond memories of pissing you off. Shot this up the list because again, it's another thing of playing this when I wasn't as well versed in heavy Euro games. Made it a worse experience. Now that I'm well versed in heavy Euro games, I can think of this and be like, oh, I would like that now, and I would like that now, and I would like. Have you played it since you bought it? No. Okay. So, we're just gonna have to do that. See if you hate it as much as you did.
Oh, I will.
No, you won't.
You're probably right in that I would figure it out easier now.
Yes.
Having the experience, but
another game like this comes in '84, Biblios. So I replayed Biblios with Dave. You were there too.
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is fantastic. It fell off my list, or maybe never made it on because it was just such a long time ago that I played it that it didn't seem fair to put it on the list.
And it's just a light.
And so then playing it again, I was like, ooh, what a thrill.
Nice.
What a thrill.
Nice.
82. So weird that this wasn't on my list before, but Tyrants of the Underdark.
Oh, yeah, you love this game.
I love Tyrants of the Underdark, so I'm not sure why I didn't make it, but maybe just kind of got eked out by some other stuff.
Top 100 is a tough...
Yes.
Making the top 100, these are all good games, yeah.
So now we're jumping up to 74. Coming in at 74 is Amerigo. Oh. So I never played Amerigo with Steffenfeld, but this is just good. Cube Tower Extraordinaire. This is better than Marrakesh.
Okay.
So it's gonna stick to the list. A rondel action selection, and then the strength of the action is determined by what cubes of the corresponding colors fall out of a tower.
Okay.
And then you're just sailing your ship out to islands and trying to connect to resources and harbors, and it's fun.
That's cool. This sounds, I probably would enjoy this game. Never played it, but...
So then coming at 68 is Forest Shuffle.
Yep.
This is just like, I'm a sucker for a nice hand management game. And this is just slick and cool, neat. I'm a little mad at you that it's not on your list, but
The second experience was much better than the first.
Yes.
Although both times I ended up going with butterflies. Don't know why, but the second time I actually made butterflies work.
Yes, that's right. The first time, not so much.
Yeah, no.
But I just love that you have so many options to make points with. And
right.
Then as you go, you start to get restricted in your head.
And it is that season's card synergy kind of thing.
That's right.
For
Okay, 66. I played this game once, years ago. Altiplano. And I think since playing Orleans, it made me appreciate Altiplano more. So Altiplano also gets up on the list. I like me a llama-themed game, I guess. Or alpaca in this case. Sorry, don't want to offend anybody.
How dare you confuse llamas and alpacas, don't you? No basic biology.
So this surprised me a lot. And in our next Best of the Month, I'll be able to explain more just how this game is growing on me.
Okay.
But I was surprised, given the hate I give this game, that showed up on my top 100.
Barron Park.
At 64. Heat pedal to the metal.
Whoa!
Heat pedal to the metal. And this was before we had been playing it again. And now, since we've been playing it again, I'm like, no brainer this is on my top 100. This is an excellent game. I just didn't get it, party people. I just didn't get it. I was like, this feels slow for a racing game. Wah, wah, wah. Not realizing, really, that the game is trying to make it around those tight corners slow, having to throttle down, and having to, not throttle down as much as other people feel they have to.
That's right.
And see if you can make it around those corners at a bit more of a reckless gear.
That's right. You want to break this game.
Yes.
You don't want to follow the rules.
That's right.
The rules are you should try to make it around the corner cleanly.
Yes.
You're like, well, what if I don't?
Yes.
What if I'm willing to take 5 damage?
Yes, that's right.
I'll put some heat in my car. Sure, that's not going to come back to bite me in the ass, right? No, probably not. I mean,
no.
Why do I need these cards? What happens if I run out of heat? Probably nothing. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Oh, wait, my car blew up? Oh, well, that's not great. But,
Then coming in at 60 is Orleans.
Oh.
So Sarah got me Orleans for my last birthday. We played it a couple times. It's a delightful Euro game. A weird Euro game in that there's only one currency and there's no secondary currency engine. There's not change this into that to get. You just collect things and they're worth points.
This game was on my list last year. It fell off my list.
Okay.
But not by a long shot, but yeah.
Via Magica.
Via Magica?
Yeah, it's like bingo with fantasy creatures.
This was definitely not. I've never heard you ever talk about this game
so Via Magica has this beautiful system where you draft these bingo cards, essentially. So there's a row of cards, and you draft them, and they have these icons on them in order to fulfill them. So this card requires 2 ghost spirits and 3 leaves in order to fill it. And then you draw tokens out of a bag, or someone draws tokens out of a bag, and then you put crystals onto the cards that you have that have those symbols on the cards. So it's bingo. But but then the cards that you fulfill give you like special abilities and allow you to like fudge things. So like now, if white crystal gets pulled, it can also be a blue flame. Or whatever, things like this. Last time I made my list, I just squished Empires of the North and Imperial Settlers together.
Yep.
I separated them this time, and they both made my list.
Okay.
And I don't think I would do that again.
Right.
Because as I've been thinking about it since, I'm like, no, like, I actually prefer Imperial Settlers quite a bit more.
Really?
Which is weird.
Okay.
Just the action rondelle, or no, not the action rondelle, just this action selection bit takes away from the purity of the card synergy hand management thing. But Empires of the North made it at 54. Here's the big one. Coming in at 52. I thought I hated this game. 52, Blood Rage, man.
Whoa!
Blood Rage. And this corresponds definitely to a major fall off the previous list. But I'm going to talk about that later. But Blood Rage comes in with a vengeance. With a fiery Valhalla-sized vengeance.
Nice.
A nice little surprise. Coming in at 49, Agricola.
Ooh,
I really enjoyed our play of it.
I'm surprised Agricola didn't make my list.
Yeah, so Agricola is just like an oldie, but like it gets the attention it gets for a reason. And like if you just want like a nice, like, yes, it's competitive. Like you're going to kind of screw each other out of spaces sometimes, but you're also just like, I'm just going to go get some reeds, and I'll go get some wood, and then I'm going to turn that into a thing. Like, it just feels good.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Animal husbandry.
Yes.
Okay, you're going to hate this. Coming in at 47 is Challengers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know what, man? Like,
you love this game.
I love it. I just love deck building at the simplest, lowest common denominator. Because not only does it give you just the experience of deck building like a Dominion style, it like gives you like little mini experiences of as if you were deck building for Magic the Gathering or a TCG or an LCG, and you're sitting at home at your table and you're like, oh, can this go with that, or can this go with that? Right. It just gives you that experience in the most micro way. In between each round, you're just like, oh, okay, I got to get rid of this. This screwed me up last time. Like, that messed up my whole play. Now I'm going to put this in here. And then, so a game I played, had negative experience with, and now I've played it since and realized that this is lovely role player. Coming in at 44.
I like role player.
Yeah, it's great. And then coming in at 38 is Nova Luna. Again, as I'm like naming some of these, I'm like, why haven't? I guess you just suck.
Yeah,
is the determination I'm making.
That these are not on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nova Luna is good. It's not quite maybe top 100.
Yeah. No, I love
caliber, but yeah,
it's high. Nova Luna 38 is high, but just this puzzle. This puzzle is fun, and I love just the idea of we're not playing for points. We're just racing to get rid of these tokens. We have the same amount of tokens, and when you fulfill a little condition, then you put a token on a little dot. Right. There you go.
It is nice to have a game. So many games use victory points that it's nice when a game decides to be bold and daring.
Yes.
And just to say, you know what, we're not going to do that.
Now here's another game that I knew I would love, and I played it, and I loved it. Coming at 34 is Francis Drake.
Okay, yep.
So a really cool ratcheting mechanism for the action selection. You can go as far as you want along the dock, but then you have to go beyond that the next action you take. And you're building up your supplies, and you're getting all these resources so that then you can go traveling. And there's this kind of like thing where ports and stuff that are close to the dock are easy to get to, but you don't get as much points. But the farther you get, the more points you can get, but you need more resources to stretch, and the likelihood that the battles you get in will be harder to beat, and it's cool.
This is another game that I've never played.
Yeah, it's great.
It kind of strikes me as like, I get maybe a lot of these games like confuse like Francis Drake, Amerigo, Navigador.
Yeah, sure.
Like, they all have like very much same kind of like art style and like the same kind of decade sort of feel, but
and feels, yes.
But I'm sure that I would like them all.
That's right. Coming at 33 is Far Away. I can't love this game more. I just love this game so much. I love the puzzle. I love that. Introduced this to some people in London when we were visiting. I did terribly. I'm used to getting like 80 or 90 for scores. I was getting like 30s and 40s. It was brutal. Ooh. I couldn't get.
Were you just being nice?
I kept on shooting the moon and doing terrible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. Coming in at 30, Ark Nova.
Wow.
Ark Nova.
That's a new entrance to the list.
The more this lives in my brain, the more I just love it. Especially as a two-player title. Living rent-free in my brain. Yep. And you played this a bit, and it didn't make your list. Weird.
It was close. I think this was like maybe like 106 or something. Okay. Yeah, it was definitely up there.
Okay, coming in at 27 is Earth. Okay, coming in at 26, this is going to piss you off. Badoku.
Oh.
Man, like this is such a lovely.
This is close.
It's meaty. It's heavy. It's complex.
Yep.
Like it's not just heavy. It's complex.
Right.
But not complex in what you're doing. Like you figure out what you're doing pretty well. But then when you're like basically everything that you can do in this game, like all the different ways to collect points, are available at all the different spaces you can go. Like it's like
right.
It's not like you go here to do the dragonfly thing and you go here to do the rock total like scoring thing. Like all those things are all over the board in all different places. So you just like are like, oh, I'll get a dragonfly there and I'll go and get a dragonfly here and I'll connect them here and I'll actually like it is complex. It's like but I just love the tension between using your dice worker placement and also your hand management. Like playing a card to do some stuff, to unlock a dice that now you can then place as a worker placement. I love it.
I keep buying DeVere games and I'm like, I like this game, sort of. And then I play it, I'm kind of like, And then I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. These are the people that made Badoku.
Sure. Coming in at 23, Vasco da Gama.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Just like
this was not far off my list.
It shows its age, but what it shows is really good.
Tom Vassell, you're wrong.
Yeah, you are wrong, Tom Vassell. Wow. You are wrong. Like, coming in at 20. Now, this was just simply I didn't have this in my BGG database when I did my list before, so it didn't make it. But this is Royals at 20.
Okay.
Just like Ticket to Ride, the area control game.
Nice. You might even have written Royals like higher than I did this year, baby.
Okay.
Like around there, but yeah.
Sure. Coming in at 14. Boom. Princes of Florence, man.
Whoa.
Just
okay.
love this game.
Whoa.
You know what I hate? A polyomino game where you actually have to fit the tiles together. Do you know what I love? A polyomino game that says, if you touch these tiles together, they don't score. So just keep these things as far apart. I'm like, I can do that. I can do that.
Why do you know all your buildings to touch? Like, in what world is it not good to put your library next to an observatory so that like their walls are in effect adjacent? Like, no. In what world is that a bad thing?
It's a terrible thing. Oh man, like hand management, bidding. Like, this game has it all, and it does it all so well. A weird, like, the scoring is weird with your money, but it's all good. And then coming in at my 2 and my 1 spot, out of nowhere, just
2 and 1,
blowing the competition out of the water. Age of Innovation and Toledo.
Wow, yep, that's right.
You can't compete with those games. Those are like Euro games extraordinaire. Those are creme de la creme, amazing games. Hard to get Age of Innovation tabled, but great. Okay, so those are all of our new games to our list. Now we're going to spend a little bit of time, party people, telling you guys about just some of the rises and falls that we experienced on our list.
Yeah, so I think the falls, like, these are games, that sometimes, you get a little bit delirious sometimes when you're doing your top 100, or maybe you just played a game like...
Recency bias can come in.
Yeah.
You get further away from it, you're like, oh, that wasn't bad.
A lot of times, and so these are all games, these are just some of them. There, I could talk about all the rises and falls, but these are just like a couple highlights of games that I have reasons for why they're not maybe where they once were. So I'm gonna start with some of the smaller movers that are still on my top 100, but have fallen off a little bit. And first, I'll start off with Marvel Champions. So Marvel Champions was 5 for me last year, and it's dropped down to 33.
Whoa!
So not huge.
No.
But I have not played this game nearly like.
Right.
I went out and bought everything for this game.
Did you get the Age of Apocalypse expansion for this?
Maybe not.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's the newest expansion.
Okay. I didn't even know that they made one.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, I have nearly everything for this game, and I played it. Yeah. This is one of my most played games still.
Right.
To this day. But I haven't touched it in a little while. Hopefully, I'll get it back to the table at some point and really rediscover my love for it. But for now, it's just a little bit down. Another game that this game was on my top 100, just fell off, and this game was quite high. It started off at 55, and I don't even know where it ended up. And that's Welcome to.
Yeah, okay.
Other roll rights, I guess, just Trails to Ducana and Next Station London.
Yeah, there's only so much room on a list for a certain genre of game, right?
That's right.
So, unless you really love that genre.
But yeah, Welcome to just straight up vanished. I don't even know where it went.
Sure.
It's gone. It's other big falls. This one's going to be a little surprising. This was 38 last year, but it dropped down to 155, and that's a designer that I quite enjoy. That's Vladimir Suchi, but this is Underwater Cities.
Whoa!
So
that's got obliterated.
I know. Underwater Cities and Father Dan.
More like Atlantis.
Loves it. It's underwater, baby. It's way underwater.
That's right.
No, still like it, but once again, I can only put so many Vladimir Suchis in my top 100.
Sure.
So this one, as well as Pulsar 2849, they both had to be cut off the list. Even though I really like Pulsar 2849, that might be a little bit of an error.
Whew.
That one might show up again. But another game, this is one that just have not played in a long time, but went from 49 to 154, and that's Deception Murder in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So a nice party game. I would still happily bring this out. It's fun. It's just a weird, like, some of the categories make no sense.
Right.
Like, the guy was hit with a hammer, and your question is, what time of day was he hit at the hammer with? Like, you're supposed to provide an answer that's going to help someone determine whether it's the hammer or the handkerchief that killed him. And it's like, noon? I don't know. During the workday? Maybe? I don't know. Like, when would you use a hammer? I don't know. Like, at any time of the day. But yeah, Deception Murder in Hong Kong. Chronicles of Crime also fell down a lot.
Okay.
I think I just haven't played that one as much as well. But I do have the Millennium series.
Okay.
And those are kind of nice. They're like a little bit shorter, I find.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to kind of get those back to the table. Rising Sun fell off my list. That was at 90. It went down to 186.
Okay.
I think... Yeah, I like Blood Rage. I like a few of those other games, just a little bit better. And then this one, I think fell off mainly because of... I probably put these all into one, at least in my mind, when I was ranking these games.
Right.
But one implementation of this game, I think, has knocked it down for me a lot, and that's Azul. So Azul fell off from 76 to 313.
Wow.
So this took a big hit. I think that's because of Queen's Garden. I do not like Queen's Garden.
Sure, yes.
And, the regular Azul is fine. I think maybe that could come up again. But for now, Azul is kind of...
Yeah, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Like an iteration of a game. Yeah.
Yeah, those are some of my big falls.
Okay, my big falls. Okay, we're talking about Stone Age from 11 to 98.
Whoa!
Just realized, you know what? Yes, I still love Stone Age. I think it's really good. But in the Euro landscape, it is just an introduction.
Yeah.
It's just an introduction to worker placement. It's just an introduction to things. I'm still glad it hung on to my list. But it's just like, I'm going to reach for a million different things.
That's right.
Before I reach for Stone Age.
It deserves to be kind of in that classic...
Yes.
Thing. It's like
I've been bringing it to people's houses recently because I want to get it played again because I do enjoy it. But it is just, it introduces you to the genre.
Sure.
Tiny Towns was in my top 10 2 lists ago, then went to 38, and now it's at 96. And again, just more and more realizing that if you don't got spatial reasoning, you don't got Tiny Towns.
That's right.
And it just like, it's not fun.
I hear you.
It's not fun when you're not playing well.
This game has dropped off a little bit for me as well. And it's what you were saying. This game is very simple.
Yes.
To explain the rules of. I can explain the rules very, very easily. There is a learning curve. Yes, like the time that we were playing it at the St. Ed's board game night.
Yes.
And like, I wasn't trying to be ruthless, but it just so happens that when other players start falling off and like start having a really bad time and start getting to quarters, like they'll end up with scores of like -8.
Yeah, that's right.
And you'll end up with a score of 32.
Yes. Ares Expedition. Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition dropping from 37 to 95.
Okay.
And I think this is just because it's a Terraforming Mars game. And it's just like, when
branding,
I remember, just like, I don't love the theme, so when I think about it, it's just like not. But I still love. I played this fairly recently, and I really love the card play and how it all works together. Just the drawing cards, baby, hoping to get what you need to work this out. I love it. But yeah, there's just other hand management games that I would play later or sooner. Quadropolis. It was on your top 10.
Yep.
This is dropping from 22 to 91. And this is
That's
after...
good. It's still on there.
That's right. But this is after 2 recent plays where I was just like, oh yeah, like this is much lighter than I remember it being. This is much lighter. So it falls in that weird category of like a light family game that's a little too heavy for the family game category. Yeah. So I just don't know where to put it.
Right.
So Quadropolis, just a little too late for me now. Talking about Ankh, Gods of Egypt.
Okay.
From 30 to off the list. Just gone. And the reasons why is when I think about this game, I think about Reiner Knizia. And I wonder, why is this like big dudes on a map, giant gods battling? Why does it feel like Tigris and Euphrates?
Okay.
Why am I just like watering off sections of the map with camels so that I can score this section and like cut you out of it?
Through the desert?
So, no.
Oh, okay.
Tigris and Euphrates. Like, yes, the camels are from through the desert, but yes. Okay. But the camels are in Ankh.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? There's camels in Ankh? Oh my god.
That you're used to. So, okay, there's a territory, and you have influence in that territory, and I have influence in that territory. I now take the camel action, and I cut a line through that territory, so that now your influence is in another territory.
Wow.
And so now I have full control over that territory.
Okay.
So it's just like, it's a fun game with cool mechanisms, cool action selection, cool things going on. But after playing Blood Rage, where it's like, this feels like big giant monsters going at it. And then thinking back to Ankh and being like, this does not feel like giant gods going at it. This feels like giant gods got tricked into a game of Mahjong.
It's like, I'd still be up for playing this game.
Yeah,
now
for sure.
Now that you talk about camels, I'm game.
For sure.
I'm game.
And then, speaking of Reiner Knizia, Blue Moon City going from 12 to off the list.
Wow.
And here's the deal. I'd probably most like to play Blue Moon City at 2 players, but it just starts to feel weird at 2 players because you're building monuments, and the monuments require you to play a certain value amount of cards of a certain suit. But as you're playing, you're filling in this obelisk, and then there's kind of like less and less available.
Right, yeah.
And at 2 players, it just kind of gets, you get one, I get one, you get one, I get one, you get one, I get one. And then it's just like, okay, well, I got one last, so I filled in the spot.
It's been a long time since I played this game.
Yeah.
I have very hazy memories of what I'm doing.
Okay, let's talk about the big risers.
Yeah. See, I don't have a lot of these, but these are just these are some games that have made some jumps. These are some games that were on the list and they've moved up a little bit. So the first one is Hadara. So Hadara was at 43. It's now at 11. So just not a huge jump, but enough to be like,
sure.
I still really like this game. I forgot about it for a little while, brought it back to the table once, and I was like, I love it. Love it. So good. Codex Naturalis. Oh, man. This game, I don't know what it is about this game. Whether it's the gold foil cards, I don't know what it is.
Right.
But it went from 54 to 18.
That one fell off my list.
Wow.
Yeah. Nothing. But I think very fondly of it, so I don't know where it went. 34 new games made it on the list.
That's right. So, and that's I think where the rises are especially important. Is like the fact that so many new games showed up that like if your game is rising, that's even if it rises like 2 spots, that's significant.
Yes.
Even
if it stayed the same, like you were
That's right.
earlier.
Yeah. The Magnificent.
Okay, that's
so
not
the Magnificent went from 67 to 25.
Yeah, that tracks.
Just I've been playing it more, and every time I play it, I see something more I didn't appreciate the first couple times. So that's really high. One game, I think this is just because we played it not that long ago, and that's the Quest for El Dorado.
Oh, yeah.
So this game was at, what did I write there? 77, and it's up to 29.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just a nice, simple, easy, like, racing deck builder. And then my favorite word game, and that's Letter Jam.
Okay.
And Letter Jam went from 95 to 41.
Wow.
So, yeah, just every time I think about this game, if there's a word, I mean, there's not that many word games, but when I think about it, I'm just like, it just does something so fun. And playing with you was about the funniest thing that I've ever seen. So, yeah. I can make a word. Yeah, but then, is it a good word?
Okay, my risers. So Deus rises from 47 to 21.
Yep.
Playing this more often. Just like
you do like a Deus.
Yeah. I like a Deus. Hadara went from 59 to 13.
Whoa!
So that's skyrocketed. Yeah, that was rock and roll, man.
Hey, yo.
Broom Service went 61 to 29.
That's a game that we have to play.
Yes, we do. We do. You'd really enjoy it. Kingsburg went from 78 to 32.
Whoa, Kingsburg.
I haven't even played that.
Whoa.
I was just like...
Just nostalgia, man.
Nostalgia. Hard. Nostalgia hard.
That's fair, because I think... Has this game never made my top... Yeah, I think it was on my top 100 at one point. And I've only played this game maybe twice.
Right.
But I have great memories of it.
So good. Like quintessential dice worker placement. Cursed Court went from 79 to 37. So again, just getting this played a bunch.
Yeah.
Right. Like that.
And this is such an easy game. And yeah, I think I went over to Mary Dallas's and they had like bought this game.
Yes.
For their like niece. But then decided that we were gonna play it, so they like unwrapped the game. Like I was like, "You're giving this away as a gift." I'm like, yeah, she won't know.
Hilarious.
It's like, wow,
so fun.
But yeah, great game.
Shadows over Camelot was drunk. It was in my top 10.
Okay.
And then last year it was in 74.
Okay.
And I was at 36.
That's fair.
So I don't know what I think about this game.
And that's fair, because I don't know what I think about Shadows over Camelot either.
So I'm just like, I know I like it, but like, it's like a weird, like, collecting runs and pairs under this mystical King Arthur fantasy theme, cooperative. It's a weird
That's a
thing.
great point, because I agree with you wholeheartedly on this, in that this is, like, runs and sets are like, you think like, oh, this is a family weight game, right?
Yeah.
And then you pull out the rule book, and the rule book is like 20 pages.
Yeah.
And then there's a separate rule book.
Quest book.
That's right. That's like all about all the cards and like whatever, like all just the other things. And then you add in like a trader element. Yes. And all of a sudden you're like, we are not playing a family game anymore.
Right.
Like we are not engaged.
The caveat though is that because it's cooperative, by and large, barring the trader, you can bring people along for the ride, and it can be very fun. But yeah, I still just need to get this played again to know what I really think about it.
It is good.
And then the biggest mover was Zolkin, from 76 to 5.
Whoa!
And the reason for this was that before I had only played this on BGA, and I felt weird putting it too high.
Yeah.
And I played it in person, and I was like, nope, yep. This is excellent.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, party people, there you have it. Those are our top 100 board games of all time, sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
And let us know what you thought about our list, what you thought about our newcomers, new additions to the list, what you thought about the games that fell and rose. Just talk to us. We love talking to you, party people. Until next time, party people.
Have a top 100 day.
Yeah!